Hi everybody, my name is Anna. I decided not to really use slides, but the only slide I have was actually made by Peter, and that's the topic. And I also have some references and some links for you on the second slide. So, so today I'd like to talk about some out-of-classroom activities that I found very, very effective. And it all started with a project that I did as part of my Trinity Diploma in TESOL that I completed last year. And it was inspired by Barbara and Ford's blog, learnercoaching.ELT.wordpress.com. I'll give you a link to that later. On their blog, they propose a shift from teaching to coaching. They believe that we are there for our students to coach them to become autonomous learners, so equip them with the tools they need to become independent learners. And you'd probably agree with the fact that even if our learners are taught by us, the most amazing and dedicated teachers, they will find it difficult to learn the language if their learning is limited to class time. So what we do, we send them off, we recommend websites, we recommend articles, we get them to read, listen to talks, listen to music, watch videos. But the question is, can they really do it effectively? So I believe that because they come from a variety of backgrounds, we need to remember they're from different countries, they come from different cultures, they have different learning experiences. They might need training in learning skills, and I believe that it's our role to help them do that, to become effective independent learners. And that's why I decided to try to help my students by showing them the ways to handle independent study, by helping them develop metacognitive learning strategies, which are planning for learning, self-evaluation, self-monitoring, just basically organizing their independent study, and also raise awareness of what's available out there for them, because I believe that a lot of them don't know how they can do it and where they can find resources. And for that purpose, I prepared a set of activities for them to do out of class. Today in this talk, I'd like to tell you about how I carried out the project and the feedback that I got from students, about some examples of activities that I encouraged them to do, 10 things that I consider the essential ingredients for success of such activities, and I'd like to also tell you about some problems that I had and how I dealt with them. I started the project with two of my intermediate classes that I taught at the time, 15 learners in each of the classes, and I started by preparing a list of 5 activities. And some examples of these activities are read a magazine article. I referred them to a website which was actually a cosmopolitan website. They have a collection of articles on student life which was relevant to their experience. I got them to choose an article of their interest, got them to look at the title, at the pictures that come with the article, and I asked them to set themselves 3 questions that they'd like answered while they read the article, and then got them to read that, make notes of the most important information, and also to check 5 words in the dictionary. And I also asked them to first of all, write the definition, pronunciation, and the sentence with the new word, so that it's not limited only to a translation. And as a final result, I got them to either prepare a short presentation or write a letter to an author, to the author expressing their opinion and their ideas on the topic that was covered. Second example is conduct an interview. So I got them to design a short questionnaire that would be related either to a topic that they've covered in class or any other topic they'd be interested in. And go out there, find 3 English speakers, either their friends or members of staff, ask them the questions, make notes, and then write a letter to their friend about the findings or record themselves talking about the findings. Another example, read a graded reader. I asked them to choose a book, decide how much they wanted to read. I didn't expect them to read the whole book, just decide themselves whether they wanted to read a page 2 or a chapter maybe. translate or identify 3 words that they find very important, and again, write a definition, pronunciation, example. And as a final result, I asked them to write a short summary and or write the letter to the author expressing their opinion about the main characters. So these are 3 examples. I also got them to listen to a talk, write a story, record it, and kind of follow the same pattern of giving them very, very detailed instructions. So when I was preparing these activities, I was inspired by some examples that I found on Barber's and Ford's website, the blog, and I also followed their 3 ingredients that they identified as essential for out-of-class activities. And they said that one of them was choice, so they believe that student motivation is higher if they make decisions themselves. Accountability. So it is very important for them to share the results with their classmates, and also results which should be objective and concrete. But I went a step further and I identified the 10 ingredients that I find very, very important for these activities. And number 1 is make the tasks real. So not only use authentic materials, but also make the tasks real. By which I mean get students to do something that will resemble things that they do in real life. For example, interview people. We do it every day. We talk to people, ask them questions. Or write an email to the author of an article that they would have read, expressing their opinions. We express our opinions all the time. Perhaps comment on a blog post. You could use blogs and get them to comment online, things like that. Secondly, ensure that tasks are achievable. So if you ask them to read a book, don't ask them to read the whole book if they have a week for it, because they probably will get demotivated and they won't do it anyway. Get them to commit themselves to choose how much of it they want to read. Is it a few pages or a chapter? Make your tasks very specific. Give them very, very detailed instructions. Tell them how you're expecting them to do it, because they don't know. So get them to look, as I mentioned, at the title, the pictures, get them to set questions, guide them, tell them about what your expectations are exactly. Show them the value, so tell them what they're going to learn and what they're going to practice. Give them a variety of opportunities, so get them to read and then maybe write as a response. My number 5 is let them choose. I think it's crucial not only to let them choose the activity, but also let them choose the final result, the final task, something that they want to produce. Get them to commit, so allow some class time for them to decide and then share their choices with classmates. Get them to discuss why that and not a different activity. Get them started, so allow class time for them to do maybe initial research or prepare the questionnaire, so that you get them interested and engaged with the topic they're working on. Offer support, make them feel that you really, really care about what they're doing. Help them with the questions, help them with technology, help them with the website. One of the websites that I've used was TED.com. And what I encourage them to do is use subtitles if they're stuck, if they can't understand, but they might not know how to turn them on. So that would be something that you'd need to support them with. Get them to discuss final outcomes. So I think this is very, very important. This is actually crucial to get them back, get them to bring the results into class, get them to sit down in groups and share the results, because then they know that, if they're not ready, if they're not prepared, they haven't done it, they won't have anything to talk about. And they will also encourage each other to do the activities. They'll get others interested and enthusiastic. And finally, get them to reflect on the process. So ask them questions. How did you do it? Did you spend enough time on it? Did you find it difficult? Why? Why not? How can you improve the process, and what did you learn? Get them to discuss that in groups as well. Now, of course, there were problems. So I did it over 3 weeks, and the first week I didn't make it obligatory. I made it optional, and that was a mistake. So I believe that at the start it has to be obligatory because some students are just, you know, not interested. They won't bother. But once they try, they might actually get into it. In the second week, I made it obligatory, but still not everyone did the activities. And also a lot of people were kind of in the middle. So that was a tricky one for the feedback. But if there are students who didn't do the tasks, the activities, or didn't finish, what you can do, you can get them in the group still and make them responsible for note-taking and reporting back to the whole class, which makes it even more difficult for them to speak in public, which, as we know, is very stressful, and they need to speak to the whole class. So that was how I dealt with it. And those who haven't finished, they can still talk about where they are and how they're going and how they're finding it. And I got some feedback from students. I think that's really important as well for you, and it was very important for me to see that my students really liked being able to choose. They told me that they understood what was expected from them, and that the clear instructions and the kind of step-by-step process helped them and motivated them to complete the tasks. And I actually have seen that they made notes under each of the questions. So they were actually following the process, the instructions. They said they learned a lot of new things, but not only that, they learned about new ways to practice English and learn English outside of class. They also said they liked sharing results with other classmates. Now, not everybody liked it, but I suppose, you know, we have different learners and they have different learning experiences. And also they all admitted that it's very important to study outside the class and that doing these tasks will help them do more out-of-class study in the future. And that's all. I'm just going to show you, I would like to, yeah, that's my email address if you want to contact me. If you're looking for me on Facebook, you might find me under a different surname, Anna Morris, but I haven't changed it everywhere just yet. And that's the blog, learnercoaching.elt.wordpress.com. It's very interesting. There are loads of activities on coaching learners, on how to use materials, how to encourage them to do out-of-classroom study, but also on motivation. And their book is available from Smashwords as well. They've only published it their last month, or this month, was it? Okay. And that's all. Thank you.